No comments.
You just love to like share the ball stories. Hey, that's not fair asking a young girl that question. If you can ask that question, you ask me.
Can you ask?
Yeah, no problem.
I've brought a few notes here because I'm just inundated with so many players we have at this present time, because probably maybe some of you do know, maybe some of you don't know, that we are actually at this present time running 3 programs into 1 program. So we're juggling a lot of balls in the air at this present time with the under senior national team, the AFC, under 20 SAF coming up, under 17s, AFC. So there's a lot going on, and a lot of those players at the 23-man squad that we've actually picked, 55% of them are actually under 20s. So in many respects, I think what's really positive is the pipeline which has been developed and has probably maybe have sort of invigorated it a little bit, given it a bit of a shake up, rightly or wrongly. I think one of the most important things is that we've got some really exciting talent coming through, not just coming through into the senior national team, but also into the under 20s and the under 17s, which are going to be active later on in the year. Since we come back from Jordan, we have had 13 sessions, ball work sessions, and we've had roundabout with numerous yoga and not strength and conditioning, but it would be more in recovery / tactical phase. So, and I'm really pleased with the group we've got. We've got a wonderful work ethic within the group. The girls have really applied themselves fantastically well. I think playing, when I actually requested, and I spoke to Miss Kiron a while ago, and the president regarding playing teams which are higher ranked and stronger than us, maybe they thought or sort of tread with trepidation, so to speak. But from my perspective, I only think unless you're willing to shake yourself out of that comfort zone, and most importantly, test yourself against better and stronger opposition, you're never going to improve. And I think the girls have shown that by playing and applying themselves against teams more tactically and who are adaptable, and playing against players that are physically strong and tall, it's been a big test and a big challenge, but I think they've really stood up to it extremely well, and hence their performances, which have been outstanding. Hopefully we can take this on to the next level, and I always believe never judge yourself at SAF. I think you've got to judge yourself at AFC. I think that's really important to remember. But I think the most important thing is that we go about it with the right attitude, and we go there with confidence, optimism, belief that we can go there, and we're not just there to make the numbers up. We can go there and get a result. Step by step. First game Bahrain, then it gives us an opportunity to have a look at prior to the Bahrain game, it gives us an opportunity to look at Myanmar, and obviously we're always looking at historical data, and I'm not really sort of sold on data. I'm a big believer in, the naked eye doesn't lie. What you see in lifetime really is what it is, and some people get off on data. Me, I'm a big believer in video analysis, getting on the training ground, working. I'm not an old school coach. I'm an old school coach who actually embraces new ideas. But I really do believe we have an exciting group of players, and led by this young lady here who's done extremely well, and hopefully can lead us to bigger and better things. Not so much just next week or in the next 10 days, but further down the line. Well, I wouldn't be sat here if I didn't think that. I'm not just, I'm not saying I think there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. I mean, a little bit of arrogance in players is a good thing. as long as you don't overstep the red line. And I think as a coach, I think it's me to control that. I think the most important thing, sitting here looking at the 3 games, is we probably are underdogs. If I live in square pegs, square holes, round pegs, round holes. I live in that world. I do believe if everyone brings their A game to the table, and I'm a big believer. Sometimes you got to flick systems. I've played 2-3 systems in 90 minutes. I think you've got to be flexible, and I think when you come up coming up against teams which are higher ranked and better teams, so-called better teams, what you have to remember is that we've improved immensely. We have improved. I think our work ethic's improved. I think out of possession we've improved. I think in possession we've got a lot of young players who are coming through, and given time, I think they'll really come to the fore and strengthen us in certain areas where I think we maybe have a little bit of maybe we're not as strong as other teams, and we have to make up for that with energy, tactical nous, and most important, we've got to apply a game plan which is going to cause teams problems. And I think we do have those two, those skill sets in our toolbox.
I have 2 questions. There are 5 defenders in your team. Is there any lacking? Or my second question is, can you describe the changes?
We haven't really changed much. We changed the goalkeepers because really we've got Millie's an under 20, so I really wanted to Rupner obviously would be first choice, and Swanner and Millie. But most importantly, I do, when you've got young players and young talent, and it's an opportunity to actually blood them, give them an opportunity to actually, it's like having a young bird. If you clutch its wings, you never know whether it can fly. If you let it go, it either drops to the ground. So it's not make or break, because these are all going through a learning process, and it's the journey for these girls, and I think they're on a really exciting journey, and I think Bangladesh women's football is on a very, very exciting journey moving forwards. Maybe some people may not agree with that, but that's my point of view. 5 defenders. Reason being, I brought Neela in because I needed a little bit of experience. Because if I wanted to flick it and go play 3 at the back, she could play as a left-sided centre back. Shamshana is more of an attacking. If I went to play 3 at the back, she'd be more of an attacking wing back. Hence, Shui could do the same on the other side. So 5 defenders. Most importantly, I always think it's 2 centre halves for each position. I Feda Kwati and Shirley Apu. But we've got Joy Nob as well, who in many respects is a really exciting young talent. A lot of people sometimes think it's too young to throw players in at the deep end. But I'm a big believer in you give people an opportunity, and whether we've picked 4 defenders or 5 defenders or 6 defenders, you're never going to be successful with 11 players only. You got to use your full 23-man squad.
Last time when you visited Myanmar, there was 2018. This time Myanmar we just 5-0, and there was not good result because Myanmar we draw with Nepal, we make draw also with them. After that we go to 2 sub-trophy and we beat higher ranking team, and also we draw last month in Jordan and Indonesia. Is it possible this time to beat Myanmar or we draw with them and qualify the final round?
Well, firstly, I don't really, there's an old saying, it's no harm in looking back, but don't look back and stare. Historical data, historical results, invariably, sometimes they're a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow. But the most important thing is you've got to look forwards. and I'm not looking back. I don't look back. I look back at UAE, and I think what a great learning exercise it was. I look back at SAF 2024. Yeah, it was a great experience, but we're playing with the big girls now. You know, we've got to be realistic. It's not about going into. You're not walking into a cauldron's den. You're actually the lion's den. You basically saying to yourself, can we go and match up and pit ourselves against teams which are of higher quality? Yeah, we've shown we can do it against Indonesia and Jordan, but that's history. Now we've got to move on, and we've got to come up with we've got a plan. We looked at Bahrain, we've done this video analysis on it, I've studied them, I know how they play, they're very direct, they're a very physical side, they get bodies numbers in forward, but they defend very, very deep. So it's not like we haven't done as research and as homework, but you never ever know what team is going to play until that whistle goes at 7 o'clock on the 29th of June. Listen, at the time I start worrying is when you're not creating chances. I've always believed that, and I think we've got a new forward line. I encourage them to play a high press. I've selected players that I feel can play the way I want them to play, and the way I feel the supporters want the team to play, with energy, enthusiasm, passion. I'm not into watching teams play walking place football, but I think we're getting with wins, successes, victories, call it what you want, comes confidence, and with confidence, players have the ability to actually, create things. We create chances. You're gonna take chances. You're gonna lose. Goals change games, irrespective. And I just think we have to. We're on a journey. Whether that journey, where it takes us, is the exciting part about it. It's the sexy side of it. Is that football is. It's all about taking your opportunities at the right time. And I always believe that luck is where preparation meets opportunity. If you don't take your chances, you don't win games. No, Miron's been great. She's a breath of fresh air. She's a bit of a character. No, I just looked at her and I just thought she's not she's one you can throw up front, but she's a centre back. In my opinion, she needs to learn. As I've looked at a lot of players and changed Halima from a right-sided player to can play right wing back, can play right back. I've shuffled the pack a little bit, and the players are happy with it. We've got a lot of. You need versatility in football, and if you're not versatile, you're going to really struggle, especially in the modern day game, because the game's change and the game is constantly evolving.
Best wishes to you and your team. We hope that nowadays, last time remember that you have some suggestion regarding the facilities and food and something like that. But what until most of it is quite big rumor there. After the championship, we will think about to still among the
No, you're going to get rumours constantly, especially when teams are doing quite well. I think when it comes down, we'd all love better facilities. I think, as I said, Bangladesh is from a sports perspective, it's in a bit of a change. You're having 2 new fields built. Would I like to have better facilities? Yeah, of course I would. But I understand the situation. I understand the circumstances. Regarding my personal situation remains a personal situation, and it's not there to elaborate on, especially before a major tournament.
Thank you very much.
ফরওয়ার্ডের সাথে আছে মিক্স করে দিলাম কি মনে হয় তারা আপনাকে দলের মধ্যে এই মিশনটা আমাদের ভালো ভালো কি মনে হয় তাদের
No comments.
You just love to like share the bulk stories.
but you just
Hey, that's not fair asking a young girl that question. If you can ask that question, you ask me.
can you answer
Yeah, no
can you
problem.
answer it? Can you answer the question?
ভাই আপনি কোন বাংলা বলছেন
No comment.
Sorry, I answer again. This mission is very important for Bangladesh teams. In Myanmar, against Myanmar, Jordan and against Myanmar, tournaments are and Bahrain. Those are strong teams in Bangladesh. If you think there is a lack of the defender Masura Fardin, midfielder Sanjida and forward Samina Khatun, what do you think? If they are including this team squad, that will be a strong team?
I don't have anything to say about any other individual other than the 23 players. You want to talk about, you've not mentioned Omela. Omela is one of the most talented young players that's probably going to walk through these doors at BFF, and nobody knows about her, nobody's even spoken about her. Now, in my opinion, you know, old news is old news. Leave the narrative, move on from it. You know, we've got good, I've picked the best 23 players I feel are best suited to going and being successful.